Up, traders? Welcome back to Trap Trades. We are going to get into my promise, which was the RSI technical analysis video on AMC, stock ticker AMC. And today it would most likely, I burped. Today would be an informational kind of video. Of course, nothing I say or do here is financial advice, guys, so don't take it as such. I am just a degenerate. I love to take high risk for high return and compound that interest into more long-term secure stocks. But for today, we are going to go over the RSI indicator. And for me, this is a good telltale to see where the stock is in terms of its relative strength. RSI, if you didn't know, stands for Relative Strength Index, and I use this as part of my thesis to get into the trade of AMC. Now, if you see here on the daily RSI, we have something here called bullish divergence, and I'm going to outline what that looks like here for you guys so you can kind of begin to pair this into your strategy for other stocks. RSI is pretty huge in spotting bullish or bearish divergences before they happen. So you can see here, when was this? Let's go all the way back here. You had January 2025, like January 14th here. You can see that the price was staying steady right around 321, and the RSI was at the lowest point it had been, about 21. Let's just zoom out for macro. Lowest it had been in like 8 months. And so that low right there matches with this candle. And you went even lower. But what do you see here? Between the RSI. You made a lower low, but the RSI made a higher low. Whoop. That, my friends, is what you call bullish frickin' divergence. So when you see that, that is a good sign to see that institutions or individual traders are starting to step in and the consumer confidence in this stock is growing. Hence why you're seeing the RSI go up. And so this is a trend. Oops, I made that an oopsie. This is a trend you can see here on the daily chart. You can see stock goes up, pumps, comes back down, and then from this low, which is lower than the one we just talked about, you make another lower low, but you make another higher low on the AMC RSI. And then you make one more, and then you dip, and you make another lower low, which in comparison to this local range, this is the lowest that you go. You go right around 245 was your low, and you still had a higher low on the RSI. So that's where you can start to draw these trend lines and then see if it wants to retest. That'd be a great place for entry, but it doesn't do that. It does not retest. You make one more higher low on the RSI and one more lower low on the price action, which marked near the bottom for AMC here, right around 245, which would have been a great entry up to this $4 target, almost 100%, which is crazy. And so if we zoom out here, this is where it starts to get exciting for me. Looking at the RSI, you can see that this is actually the highest you've been on the RSI back when you made that pump to $4. This is the highest you've been on the RSI. Let's just put a horizontal trend line there. Whoops. This is the highest you've been on RSI since freaking, wow, man, that is so wild. Since May of 2021. That is crazy. Whoa, I actually did not see that before. I thought it was 2022 when you tap here, but I'm wrong. That is the highest you've been on RSI, and that is just another indicator showing the possibility of AMC. Wow, man, that's crazy. I actually had not seen that before. Alrighty. Now let's get into the weekly. When I do this breakdown, I like to go daily, weekly, and expand the macro from there. But if you look at the RSI, let's just get rid of these lines. You look at the RSI in the weekly, and you have a nice little trend line there on the RSI. So you're uptrending on the RSI, and you had a nice test right here. You make a higher low on the weekly RSI while price is making a lower low. That's bullish divergence on the RSI. And so what you saw was a break above this band on the RSI and then a retest. A retest right around 265, and then you squeeze. And so on the weekly, I think this is probably the one I was looking at. Whoops. On the weekly, that is the highest RSI you've had since, boom, August 20. Yeah, okay. So this was 2022. This is the highest RSI you've had on the weekly since 2022, which I thought was pretty impressive because that was back in the August squeeze, back when you had the APE stock split, which is a whole nother conversation. So there's a lot to love on the RSI for AMC. It's pretty dang bullish. And so to all the people kind of bashing the AMC trade, I think if you know technical analysis, you'll know that the fundamentals are not there yet, but there's something happening behind the scenes here, and it has me pretty interested. Just from the macro standpoint, so this is a chart that goes all the way back to 2020. This is the pump back in June right here. And this is that holy grail trend line. I mean, you tap it, come back up, September, come back up, November, you dump, test this range, squeeze back up, close below, squeeze back up, close above, close below, tap, close below, break out, bounce above, and then you knife after the stock split, 65% of the weekly. You pretty much came up and tested it perfectly here in, tested it perfectly back here in May during that stock squeeze. Came up and tested it perfectly in May during that stock squeeze. And then you broke above the holy grail trend line up to $4. And now you're trading flat on it. And that's a good sign because you haven't knifed below. You filled the gap that was beneath you. And now you're trading sideways on this holy grail trend line with the highest RSI since 2022. In my opinion, this is crazy, man. We're going to make something stupid happen. And this is for you guys to be informed on some of these things that are happening because no one's talking about it, but quietly AMC is seeing an uptick in RSI, an uptick in MACD, potential bullish indicators on the horizon, and GME is just doing the Lord's work. GME is going crazy. So I am thoroughly excited for what the future may hold. It might not be next week. It might not be next tertial, but within the next couple years, AMC is going to do a dirty, filthy recovery. And that's what I'm here for. I am here to see retail win. I want to see the little guy get their bone, you know? I want to see the little guy get their change. But that's all I have on the RSI video for AMC, guys. I did want to go into Dogecoin a little bit if you guys want to stay with me here. I had this charted out. This is that was the market cap chart. I did have this charted out. This is the chart on the weekly of Doge. You're holding the key uptrend here that you had since 2020. And I charted right here last night saying you had to get a bounce. Otherwise, you're looking really, really dangerous. And you did get a bounce. You had a nice retest, breakout and retest of the RSI midline there. And so now you're just looking for volume. You're looking for Bitcoin to make an all-time high, and then alts and Ethereum should follow. And this has me absolutely jacked. Has me absolutely excited on the future of crypto. I'm really hoping that you can see a pump here, because I know everyone needs it. It's been a terribly rough couple of weeks. If I jump to total 3 here, this is the total market cap of cryptocurrency without Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I believe Solana. But what you see here is, let me jump into the daily. What you see here on the total cryptocurrency market cap is you see a beautiful head and shoulders formed. I don't know if you could draw it up much more beautiful than this if you tried. Let's take that to the, take it to the neckline, and then you pretty much tap this $1.5 trillion trend line, and that would give you rough measurement of gain of about 50%. About 50% gain for the altcoin market cap from that inverse head and shoulders profit target. And then I think, let's see, bonk. No, not bonk. I think that's it, guys. AMC looks nice. Short term, all right. Long term, absolutely nasty. And that was kind of an RSI stock technical analysis video. If you guys want to subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. I'd love to devote more of my time to this and use it as an informational platform to help teach and empower retail investors. So please do leave a like, leave a subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Make sure it's a beautiful Monday morning. Go touch grass and go tell someone you love them, guys. All right, peace.